All right. So we just listened through Motionless in White, second album, Infamous, for the first time. So now we're going to discuss it and take turns talking about it, and then take turns rating it. So Jordan, what are your thoughts on this album?
It was all right. It was all right. There was definitely a lot of callbacks to creatures. There was like the puppets too. He said, "Open your mind before your mouth." There's like
Yeah,
a lot of
couple
callbacks.
times.
A couple of times, yeah. Uh, so I don't know.
I'd say it
Like,
started pretty strong. It started a lot stronger.
yeah, it started really, really strong. Like, it was definitely heavier than creatures a little bit, like a little bit. Uh, there was definitely like a lot more riffy stuff towards the beginning, but after that like cinematic track, everything kind
Hmm.
of like they just kind of added more of the like slower, like more instrumental songs. Which I mean, I guess that's fine. You can't have like a full album of just like straight heavy because we know that just doesn't work sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
uh, but but I feel like they could have incorporated the different sounds more into the metalcore, other than just having metalcore songs that have a little bit of industrial goth in it, and then
and then
straight up songs
industrial.
where
Yeah,
it's just industrial, and it seems kind of like I don't want to say lazy, but I definitely think it's probably easier, especially if they wanted to get like big with that kind of crowd.
yeah,
You know, you want to stick a lot more of that into it, and
yeah. They
maybe
definitely
more
have
get like,
a niche that they're going for.
yeah, they want to bring more of the crowd that's gonna want to be like attracted to them, and that would listen to similar things. So I guess I can see that, for especially from this being what their like second album full
Yeah.
length. So
Hmm.
I can definitely see them probably. I definitely know on the album after this they went a lot further into that industrial goth thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
because this is around the last time I saw them before I've seen them like recently. So
Yeah. I think
yeah,
I had seen them a couple times, right around Creatures, right when they were like brand new. Um, and then maybe a couple times after. I think like 2011 was probably like one of the last times I saw them until, so that was before this. And then a big gap of me going to shows and stuff. And then I saw them again in like 2016, I believe, 2016 with Issues. I want to say it was Issues, um, and I was excited because I hadn't seen him in so long. The last time I saw him was Creatures era, and I was like, I can't wait to see him. I'm gonna see Immaculate Misconception live, and I waited around that whole set. Not one goddamn Immaculate Misconception was found. Uh, so they clearly like started changing towards that direction. Um,
yeah,
but
because I saw them when this album came out, and they played. I think they play. I think they played Immaculate Misconception because that was the tour with Whitechapel and Asking Alexandria. So they played more of the heavier songs off of this album, but they definitely played mostly songs from this album when I saw them.
yeah,
So like they were definitely moving towards, which is weird because they have like really heavy songs on the album, and then they just kind of it feels like they just kind of like
yeah. But it's cool to
they're like, okay, we
see.
got it out of the way.
It's cool to see like their new songs because their new songs are kind of more of like a blending of both. Like they
Yeah.
have they clearly have the still industrial and stuff, but they also like still pay homage to like the heavier parts. So
Yeah.
to me it seems like they're getting even better. Did you have anything else?
The mix, other than the volumes being like really weird on the That might just be YouTube.
Yeah, it could be some of the all these were uploaded in like 2012, so it's hard to say.
Production was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was pretty 2012 production, like kind of big. This is whenever a song started to get like, specifically metalcore, just started to sound a lot bigger and like have better production and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even like 2010, 2011, there wasn't a lot of, like, even Periphery, which is like recorded bands now, even Periphery back then, like their mixes were rough. So I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty good. Although this was P2, so P2 they definitely stepped it up.
Yeah.
So they probably took some notes, you know.
All right. So for me, yeah, like we were saying, it started off pretty strong. It started off very strong. Like, it was first song heavy as shit. The second track was also heavy as shit. And then you got that America song, and it was that one. For me, was probably one of the weakest ones on there, to be honest, which is crazy because it's like one of their big singles. Yeah, so basically, like with what Jordan was saying, what I wrote down is I think this album has a very inconsistent tone. Like I said, there's like 4 to 5 like solid metalcore tracks, fast paced. It's very fast, 2-steppy. Breakdowns, lots of screaming vocals, and then you have some songs that are just completely opposite, slower, all industrial, not a scream at all, just kind of the gravelly singing and stuff, and it kind of throws you off, I think. Some of them are still good, like I said. All of the metalcore tracks that are on there are extremely solid. I think Puppets, I put on here standout tracks, Puppets 2 and If It's Dead We'll Kill It. Both of those were very super metalcore songs. Of course, those are the ones I'm going to pick. So some of the industrial songs just seem like they kind of didn't fit all that well, specifically America, because a lot of the other songs, like I said, more metalcore, faster, catchier, more riffy. But still, overall, there was like some really cool riffs in here. There was the one on the last track, like I said, I first time I heard it, it was like very like eerie tone. I thought it was almost a synth, but it was a guitar. So really cool effects and stuff. Some of the lyrics are, but it's 2012. I can't judge. 2012 was that era of just people were saying some shit, you could tell there was definitely some influence of like Orgy, Nine Inch Nails, Korn. I wouldn't even say, I don't know. I was never a big fan of Manson, so I don't get a connection between Motionless in White and Manson other than the aesthetic. But to me, I don't see musically, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't.
Definitely musically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same.
But it was all right. It was, it wasn't bad. I did feel kind of let down by the end, with how strong the album started. So I guess we'll jump into ratings. Jordan, what would you rate this?
I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
7? Yeah. Okay.
Better than I thought it would be. Better than average, I guess. But.
Yeah. I will say that yes, it was. Like I said, this is what once they started putting out more of those tracks, that's when I stopped like kind of paying attention to them. Because while I do like industrial stuff on its own, I like metalcore. Sometimes when you mix it, it doesn't work very well. But I've always had respect for them for doing that, and that's cool. That they make the music they want to make, and they have a lot of fucking fun with it. So that's sick for them. But sometimes it doesn't work for me. But so I, when I'm going back through this, it catches me off guard a little bit. It sounds better than I had thought. Like, damn, I shouldn't have avoided them for this long. However, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 6. just thinking about other albums that I would give a 7, there are some definite songs on here I would gladly put on a playlist, but there are also some songs I would flat out skip. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. So, 6 for me, 7 for Jordan, 6.5 overall. Still, you know, above average. That's an above average score, you know. Not bad, not bad.